Peace community, peace community. Grand Rising, Grand Rising. I'm live right now with Cartoon Cat, and we're here to discuss a situation that happened in Philly where a pregnant mom was killed after leaving a baby shower, and she was shot about several times, okay, including one in the head. And the craziest thing is that they said that the baby died about maybe 5 minutes after the mom. And it's just really, really disturbing news. This is graphic. This is trigger warnings to many people. I do not intend to cause any further trauma, but we must cover certain stories and we must bring awareness to a lot of these types of situations. So I do want us to play this video first so we could get into it. Kat, play that video first.
Shocking because it's like, why would they want to do that to her?
Confusion and sadness Saturday night as neighbors learned a gunman shot and killed a pregnant woman and her unborn child.
There's a lot of women and children that's being ones that are being shot and killed.
The shooting happened on the 6100 block of Palmetto Street in the city's Lawncrest neighborhood. Police say the 34-year-old was coming from her baby shower. She was 7 months pregnant.
Bringing gifts into the house. Gunshots were heard. There was an officer a couple blocks away who heard the shots. When they came here, they discovered her shot several times.
The victim was shot in the head and stomach. She was pronounced at 9:06 Saturday night. Her child was pronounced 5 minutes later.
The person that did this couldn't be more cowardly, but just hard to explain.
Police say there have been an increase in children and women killed this year, even pregnant women. This as the city nears a record number of homicides.
We're working, doing everything we can. We've got record numbers of guns off the streets, but we're always looking to do more. What we're doing isn't enough. I'm not saying that we're doing everything we can, but we need everybody in the city, including elected officials, police officers, and every person that lives in every home in Philadelphia to get as angry as they can about this.
Damn, man, it's really hard to hear a story like that. Once again, it's really hard to hear a story like that, that's the first time I'm hearing it in full. Kat, that's the first time you're hearing it too as well?
Yeah. This is the first time I'm hearing about this. And what stuck out to me was when the chief or the lead detective was talking about she was shot in the head and in the stomach. This was someone who intentionally wanted to kill her and that baby. Do you know what I mean? Like, that is someone, we already probably know who the main suspect is in this. That's crazy. And this is something I've heard a lot. I've heard a lot of stories like this. We've talked about these shows or these documentaries that talk about men who go after exes or the baby mother and kill their unwanted child or their children because of financial straits on them. Sounds like it's probably going to fit into that category. So I'll wait to see. I'm not going to make excuse me, too many assumptions, but the fact that anyone would target a pregnant woman and intentionally inflict that kind of wound, to take her shot, that's crazy. I think, who is it? Anth? The violence is out of control. It is out of control. There seems to be no filter, nothing that cannot be subjected to it. It's not leave the mothers and the children alone. No, at this point, everyone's free game, and that's what's so crazy and so sad and scary.
And that's scary, what I'm saying? In a world like that, it's scary, what I'm saying? I think, because I don't understand which civilization, which kingdom was ever successful without securing the women and the children. If there was a kingdom, you have to secure the women and the children. The men are not secure. The women and the children are not secure. Point blank, period. You know what I'm saying? Coming from a certain time period where even street guys and OGs and stuff like that, they be like, yo, man, if anything going on, even if you got drama, you know what I'm saying? I remember being in the streets, man, and OGs talking to you like, listen, man, you got drama with that guy? Listen, man, if you want to go around there and go see him, if you see kids out there, if you see women out there, if you see certain things, if he with a kid, if he with, then you spin, man, you wait, man. You don't do those types of stuff, man. It was like a cloth and a code to stuff in a certain period of time. Right now, it's just like you said, everybody's free game.
Yeah. They used to
Everybody.
code in terms of dealing with in war times or street times. It was leave the women and the children, and like it's about the men, about banging it out. But now it's come to the point where the women and the children are free reign. And I'm not saying this particular situation is not a personal. It sounds personal. For the little that I know about it, it sounds personal. So
7 shots,
yeah.
one in the head, one in her belly, 7 shots. Like, does your aim that bad? Like what's going on? You know what I'm saying?
You know what? And this is what angers me a lot about men. Okay, if this turns out to be a man who impregnated this woman, and this woman has decided to carry on with her pregnancy.
I hope it's not that situation. I swear, I hope that's not it.
Thinking so. I'm thinking it's probably going to end something like a domestic, someone she knows that did it, because this happens a lot, and this is something people don't want it, but this is probably something that's going to end up being the ex-partner, one night, whatever it is, who decided that he was going to end her life, end the child's life, because he didn't want to become financially responsible or have the burden or the stigma of being a father with a woman that he, I guess, wasn't with anymore,
Yeah, a lot of times situations are like that, though.
Mm-hmm.
You know, a lot of times that's the first person that they look for as the suspects in cases like this. They usually think it's like close related to like maybe a spouse or things like that. That's like usually the first people that they look at. But we know there's so much senseless violence that's going on around the city. Me being from New York City, I know about here. I got people that's been in Philly. I've been out there in Philly too. I know about, you know what I mean, the violence that's going on out in Philly, the drug epidemic that's going on out there in Philly as well is really, really serious out there in Kensington and different places like that as well. You know, there's so much senseless violence that is, you know what I mean, you could never know what to peg something to. You know what I'm saying? It's not like you could just say it's a spouse, or maybe it's a scorned friend, or maybe it's this, or an ex-lover, or something like that. It's just so much things. People, not just young people too, people running around shooting for nothing, doing all type of craziness. You know what I'm saying? It's crazy, you know. But I do want to read a little bit more about this story. Maybe we can, I don't know, maybe get a little more text on this.
I feel like it's personal because it was around the time of baby shower. I guess this woman had moved on. She was going to have this child regardless. And whoever was hurt, whether it's the baby mother or an ex-baby mother, the father, a family member, it just sounds personal. It's someone that probably was close.
Mother or an ex-baby mother. Sounds the same to me. Yeah. Sounds personal to me, but let's see what let me see, do they got anything with the weapons? What's going on? They say, all right, a pregnant Philadelphia woman was gunned down after leaving her own baby shower on Saturday night, cops said. The 32-year-old woman, who wasn't identified, was shot multiple times in the head and belly around 8:30 p.m. while she unloaded gifts from the shower to carry into her home on Palmetto Street in the Lawncrest section of the city. I mean, the person that did this couldn't be more cowardly, the Deputy Police Commissioner, Christine Coulter, had told the station. An officer heard the gunfire and rushed to the scene. The woman, who was 7 months pregnant, was taken to Einstein Medical Center, where both she and her unborn child were pronounced dead minutes apart from one another. And we just heard it saying 5 minutes, which is tragic, right? There have been no arrests, but the police told ABC that they believe the victim was a planned target of the shooter or shooters Roughly 11 gun shell casings were found at the scene. 11 gun shells and 7 shots hit her. This is crazy, right? Neighbor Tom McDonald said everyone is getting tired of the violence in the area. So we know about a lot of violence that's in this area. Enough is enough, McDonald told the station. It's time for the city to do something. The city of brotherly love is approaching 500 homicides for the year, which is the most in a year on record for Philadelphia. You know what I'm saying? So they're approaching 500 murders out there in Philly. We see 11 spent shell casings, 7 hit her, multiple shots, headshots, belly shots. Come on. Can we just say that this is luck? This is just a random shooter? She's unloading the gifts from the baby shower. Come on. If you've ever had a baby shower, then you know that. This is a good time. You got your gifts, you got all the stuff maybe that you wanted. This is an ease for you after a baby shower. Maybe you got some of the things now, you know what to check off this list. Now maybe you need to get the little other things now.
Yeah.
Come on.
It's so sad. She's celebrating probably one of the most exciting days for her. Celebrating the birth of her child. And to know that people came out to celebrate that, were gifting her with things and, you know, supporting her. And somebody came along and just snuffed her out. And you know what? I wouldn't even be surprised if the person that was responsible for doing that to her was probably at that baby shower, acting like a goddamn fucking snake, waiting for her to get home so he could do this and end his troubles, end his financial burden for her, you know, whatever was going through his mind. And the fact that she was so close to giving birth and that child could have been saved, but
who does that? That's just wickedness at its finest level.
Really
that is wickedness. That is cold-blooded wickedness. You know what I mean? She's pregnant. There's no mistake in that.
Listen, to all you men out here, okay,
There's no mistake in that.
If you don't want children, if you're not ready to have children, you don't want unwanted children out here, please take precautions, okay? Please do not find yourself in a position where you have a woman having a child for you that you do not want, okay? This only is going to end in heartache, dysfunction, and just all sorts of shit, okay? Please, just be sensible about it. This is a conversation I've had a few times with, you know, within like, especially like manosphere, and the lack of accountability when it comes to certain men. Now, if this turns out to be the case of an ex who didn't want a child and he did this or sent someone else to do that,
I swear,
you are the biggest. So instead of paying child support, you killed a woman and an unborn child. That's what you did.
I hope not.
Those things, I swear, should haunt you for the rest of your life. Instead of you just paying financially, monetarily, you decided to kill 2 people. One who never got to breathe in this world, like this shithole. Okay? That's what you did.
Yeah, man, our hearts go out with the families, you know what I mean, that's going through this time. Let everybody keep the family in our prayers, you know what I'm saying? You know, it's just very hard. It's a very bad thing, you know what I'm saying? For her to be killed like that.
Dude, every time this kind of stuff happens, what do we say? We'll keep them in our prayers. You know, kumbaya shit, right? We're just like, oh, let's not have this happen. Let's support. Let's uplift each other. And da, da, da. But ultimately, day after day, we see the same thing happening again and again and again.
Sure.
The prayers clearly aren't working. You're my brother, you're my sister, I love you. It's not working because all we do is like talk shit to each other all the fucking time. Okay, online. And then in real life, we do the same and worse to each other. So where are all these prayers going? Because if anything, the Black community makes a lot of prayers, right? All this. And talking with somebody, I don't mean to be, but it's like the prayers, like, what is it doing for us? It's not doing fuck all. Excuse my language, guys, but it's really not. Like, what is it that's going to really make a change when it comes to dealing with these kind of problems?
A lot of us taking accountabilities, people taking accountability, us looking at a lot of this activity and all of this and speaking out against these things within our communities, not just here online, it being a thing that's in the physical world too. You know what I'm saying? So many people are against this type of activity. You know what I'm saying? So I can't say it's that like people are not doing things and people are not speaking out against situations like this, because I know that people are, you know, but you know, I think it's time for actions, but I still think that we have to continue to bring awareness to these kinds of things. You know what I'm saying? Because the awareness is the main thing. Because until people's paradigm, until people's perspective can change and see the atrocity that's happening, to see that they're a part of an atrocity that's happening before all of our eyes, then it doesn't matter what we can say to a person. It doesn't matter what we can say to people until people see the paradigm. It's just like if you're teaching a baby or a kid 1 + 1 = 2. You might spend 30 hours trying to teach this kid 1 + 1 = 2, but it will click when they realize that 1 + 1 really equals 2. So it's like, I don't know.
I don't know. I feel like people have been talking about this for a long time, years and years. It's probably like 4 or 5, at least the time that I've listened to like these Black American, you know, consciousness and hear the messages that they want to bring to the fore. I've heard the same kind of stuff, but I haven't seen anyone really acting any different. Even those people that I thought were at the forefront of spreading that message ultimately became a joke. You know,
Yeah.
Were faking the funk, if you will, or whatever. But it's like I was listening to a stream earlier this morning, especially, and it was an American stream. There was a few American men on there, and they were arguing over basically power and how that power should be distributed amongst the men who had done more to be rewarded. And all I could think of was like this crabs in a barrel like thing. And I'm steering off from that subject because I really don't know. With the topic that we started off with the
child.
female. Her name, yeah. What's her name? I don't know her name.
No, they was withholding certain information at the time when they broadcasted everything. So they probably got the name out now, but since they did it like that, I ain't really want to push for the name either. You know what I'm saying? So I just left it there where they left it at. You know?
Female, RIP to you. Yes. RIP to your child. What happened to you was disgrace, and I hope you're together. I don't know. I want to learn more. I think it just happened last night, right?
Yeah, this recently happened. Just recently happened. So you know,
we'll find
you know, I just want to get some up and you know, just send some awareness on the situation. One, have you as a woman on as well, you know, so we can have two sides and two feelings to it. Not to say that there is two sides to our thought, just, you know, a man and a woman, both being parents, you know what I'm saying? Both experience baby showers, situations like that, you know what I mean? It's just really rough. I think it's really rough. Yeah, I can't say what happened, but you know, I do hope that they figure this out. And I do hope that her family and she gets justice. I do hope that.
Yeah, and I believe that's why I believe what happened to her and the unborn child was personal. And I don't think anyone would randomly attack a pregnant woman at that.
Taking gifts out the car?
Yeah, without some kind of animosity there or some kind of hurt, emotion. Maybe they were putting things on Instagram, on Facebook, and celebrating, and it caused them to go, push them over the edge. Maybe they were getting pressure from their own family to turn up, and and they were willing to do that. So these are all factors that probably led to this. And the baby daddy or the ex-boyfriend, we're going to call him, he's the number one.
We need to find out who that is and what's that looking like. I am going to be doing some more context on the situation. The police hasn't named any suspects. We haven't heard anything about the child's parent, the father, or whatever like that, any exes or anything like that. I know that's where cases usually go. They usually lead like that, and a lot of times it's situations like that. But me personally, I'm hoping that it wasn't that. You know what I'm saying? Because I don't know what this is, because it's still a tragedy regardless. But for that to happen, and I'm just hoping that this person was not a person that was related in any way to the mom or the baby. That's me personally. I just hope that, and I really pray that that's not the truth. But we do send our condolences, to the family. And I am going to be doing some more context on this. I'm going to
we'll follow it. Yeah.
So we can follow this. Give us some
just going off the back of that, I think I kind of was trying to get into that in terms of the men that deal with, like, men who, F with women that they don't. That was my whole, like,
we've seen a lot of situations like that. Yeah. Remember, there was a situation where a football player named Ray Caruth, he had gotten a woman pregnant. I think she was a stripper, if I'm not mistaken. Doesn't matter, but that's what they was trying to highlight in the case. And she wanted to have the baby, and instead of him just letting her have the baby, he killed her. He actually killed her, and he's in jail for that. He was a football player, a star football player. His name is Ray Caruth, Carruth, if I'm not mistaken, Carruth, Ray Caruth. And just because he didn't want to have the baby, or he was taking away her choice or whatever, he had money. He could have took care of his child and all of those things. But instead of him just facing a situation of his own action, which is he had unprotected sex, or he has gotten a woman pregnant, and live with that fact and stand up with that. You know what I'm saying? He chose to go the other route, and he killed that woman.
Different, because I remember there was a football player or some kind of sportsman, but he killed the baby mother, but he also shot the child, and the child was raised with like cerebral palsy or something. Is that the same guy?
That's probably a whole nother situation. I think when he killed the mom, I think the child lived. I think, yes, I think the child lived.
I'm thinking of. He was a football,
I think so.
Some kind of sportsman. He sent some people to kill her.
Yeah.
They killed her, but they managed to save the child. But the child was really disabled, and he. I think the mother actually just died recently, maybe a year ago or something. And he went on to graduate school, and he went. I don't know if it's the same thing. Probably not.
I'm gonna tell you right now.
The name doesn't ring a bell. It probably is not the same one. But this happens a lot. That's the thing. That's our point. This kind of thing happens a lot where men in power feel like they can make things disappear. So I wouldn't be surprised if this woman has maybe history with someone, or whether it's in the media or in the street. I don't know. Someone who just wanted to make something disappear. I don't know.
See, Ray Caruth, he did this. He was a promising football player who spent nearly 20 years in prison. for the murder. You know what I'm saying? Look, the team offered him a $3.7 million deal with a $1.3 million sign-in bonus at the times. And this Sharika Adams was the victim's name. And Ray Caruth, Sharika Adams, they went to the movies. They said, "Is this the night that they hooked up?" Okay. So they went to the movies Monday night, November 15, 1999, according to some. Adam was Caruth's girlfriend, although he later claimed that they were merely just a hookup. And a few times, regardless, Adams, a real estate agent, was 8 months pregnant with Caruth's child. See what I'm saying? This woman's 17. Look at her. Beautiful, beautiful woman. Look at her. Lost her life, just sad and crazy. This is her, you know what I'm saying? And look, he just, like, it's crazy how he did that. He conspired to do it.
Yeah, other people do it, right? Yeah.
Yeah, they said leaving the theater, they each got into their own cars and drove to Adams' home. Shortly after 12:30 a.m., a car pulled up alongside Adams and shot her 4 times. She was able to call 911 and indicate, because there was a phone call, and she indicated Ray Caruth was involved in the shooting. This is the crazy thing. This is how it cracked open. She was able to call, had the sense of to call, yo. This is crazy, right? She calls, right, and said that Ray Caruth was involved in the shooting. Her story that Caruth had slowed or stopped his car in front of hers, and it kind of boxed her in because she was probably driving behind him, following him, right? And it boxed her in as the shooter positioned himself beside her. When the shooter was over, Caruth drove away and he was gone when the paramedics arrived. Shortly after arriving at the hospital, Sharika Adams slipped into a coma. Doctors used an emergency cesarean section to deliver her son. But the baby, Chancellor Lee Adams, had suffered permanent brain damage and had cerebral palsy due to the lack of oxygen. Adams herself never regained consciousness and died on December 14th. Ray Caruth eventually faced the consequences after shooting. Ray Caruth posted a $3 million bail, and this was the condition: he would turn himself in. Either Adams or the child died. However, when Adams did die on December 14th, Ray Caruth did not turn himself in. Instead, he ran, but the police captured him a day later in West Tennessee town of Parker's Crossroads, and he was hiding in the trunk of his car in the parking lot at a Best Western motel. You see what I'm saying? And this is crazy. This is how he ended up getting 20 years. Okay, he was sentenced to 18 to 24 years in prison. Okay, look, a jury found Caruth guilty conspiracy to commit murder, shooting into an occupied vehicle, using an instrument to destroy an unborn child. They did not find him guilty of first-degree murder, sparing him a shot at the death penalty. He was sentenced to 18 to 24 years in prison. The actual shooter, Van Brett Watkins Sr., received a sentence of a minimum of 40 years and 8 months.
Yeah, that's the same one. I just Googled the name.
This is Ray Caruth, see?
Yeah, I just Googled it. Guy. And if you look up his
that's his son that has cerebral palsy.
Yeah, that's the one.
And that's the son. And the son looked like him, and the son looked like him too.
Yeah. And
so
you know what? The son was raised by the grandmother.
I think so.
This woman, yeah. She recently died, maybe a year ago.
Oh, man.
He had graduated from college or high school.
Oh, wow. Yeah, man. Congratulations to that. But wow. I didn't know about the grandmother. Wow. Yeah, I think he was with the grandmother at the time. I think the mom's mom, I think. And, you know, if she passed, you know, that's sorry to say. Sorry to hear too as well. And hope that, you know, he's in the best care, got the right people around him. Yeah, you know, our hearts goes out to all victims in any situation, you know what I'm saying? Because it's not the victim's fault. It's these abusers and these perpetrators' fault. And we need to make sure that we're not shifting the blame to no direction that it doesn't belong. We need to keep the blame on the perpetrators and keep the blame on the abusers, and not try to blame shift and switch it off to the victim. You know what I mean? And switch it off to the victims. So yeah, man.
NFL sportsman, right? He
was a football player.
Yeah, so it's not like he didn't have the means to support this child, but he chose.
Yes, he signed a $3 million plus deal, and he had 1.1 million 100,000 plus change and 30,000 or something for signing bonuses. He was like a star football player, you know what I'm saying? Coming up, you know, he'd have got more deals, especially if he's showing you doing what you're doing. You already know you got all kinds of stuff that you get on the side as well. So he did have the means, but at the end of the day, you come to those crossroads. No pun intended, but you come to those crossroads where you didn't want to be the father or whatever the case. You don't want to play child support or whatever the case may be. So then we need to take ownership of our genitals and our action and understand where we're placing our semen, because we did that. Anybody did that, and understand that, you know, a baby is a part of having sex. And if you're going to do that and be responsible to have the sex, do all the other things that we're doing, we need to be responsible enough to take care of our children, period, and do the best to protect them in any way that we can.
Feels like this is something that is alarming amongst a lot of men, and particularly a lot of Black men. Whether it doesn't matter what demographic you come from, what financial state you come from, there's always this like, okay, if you don't want to have children that you're not going to be there for or support, how about you take the precautions? Because it seems like they always want to put the onus on the woman.
Yeah.
To, you know, be the one. Then when a woman does decide,
she gets blamed and ridiculed.
Makes to be like a pariah in society. You know what I mean? It's like, what way do you want it? You want a woman to have your child, and for you to, at least at the bare minimum, financially support this child? Or do you want her to have an abortion and be like, you killed my baby? Which way do you want it?
Because that is also used and weaponized a lot of times like that. That same thought like that, you know? Yeah, that could be used and weaponized against some people.
All right, listen, men are men as men, okay? All the men that listen to this, you are in charge of your own seed. You can decide whether or not you're going to plant that to a woman, okay? You have power over that. Now, why would you do that to a woman that you have no interest in, you know, pursuing or being the mother of your children? If that's not the case, please do not partake in that shit. It's something that I've seen probably in the last, I don't know, decade or two. People just really want to think sex is a joke, that they can have sex with whoever they want with no, there are repercussions, okay? If it's not STD, STI, if it's not, you know,
who knows what? Yeah.
Like, listen, you're going to end up with probably a child that was not planned. So take precautions. Like, what's so wrong? They're so readily available. I don't understand why people don't do it. Is there some?
Take preemptive.
Yeah, what is it? Is there something like, oh, I don't use condoms? Like, no.
Oh yeah. But you don't use condoms, but you don't want to take care of your kids. So we're not gonna play that game. You don't use condoms, but you don't want to take care of the kids. We're not gonna we're not gonna do that.
It's like, okay, you don't wear condoms, and if she's on the pill, you're gonna put her down for taking the pill because it's gonna fuck up her menstrual, it's gonna make her moody, or
everybody get different effects.
To like cancer, whatever. Okay, that's great, but what are you gonna do if you bust in her and create a child? What's happening then?
Yes, because everything.
Encourage her to have an abortion, and if she doesn't, you're gonna leave her stranded.
Yeah, because all of those sexual things, or like birth controls and all these different things, they're not 100%. You know what I'm saying? They give you a little proof on something, but everything's not 100%. Not even a condom. They even say sometimes that ain't 100%. So at the end of the day, but you can't take the precautions to make sure that, you know, you're not endangering your own self, your health, first of all. Besides having a child, you could be endangering your health. And then if you have a child.
Yeah, nothing's ever 100%. Just, I know people don't like to hear this, but have sex, have intercourse with people that you would actually, at least you wouldn't mind having a child with that person. You're like, you know, I know she's a good person. We'll figure it out. But don't have children or don't go bareback with women that you don't even give a fuck about. Okay? The idea of that woman having your child is going to make you want to physically vomit. Stop it. Okay? If that woman is not worthy to have your child, do not have sex with that woman. No matter how tempting it seems, please just be like, I have to go. I have to leave. I have to get out of here. Like, I know it's tempting, but just leave, because it will end up with having a child with a woman that was busting it, probably not just for you, it was busting it all open for everybody else. And
now you mad, but you was okay. But now you mad when you was okay when she was busting it up for you. So therefore, the damn shenanigans. So it's good for the goose, it's good for the gander. When she busting it down for you, it's cool. You know what I mean? When she got that little nice little outfit over for you, it's cool. Stop the shenanigans. Keep it a band.
They're that guy. They're gonna lay it down like that. They're that guy that's got that. And they're gonna make that woman like switch up and like be different or lead a different life. Like, dudes, come on now. Like, have some more self-control.
That's most definitely needed. Self-control, accountability as well. A lot of accountability for our actions, understanding that we're grown, we're responsible, you know what I mean? Especially when it comes to dealing with our kids, you know what I mean? That's not something that you could really make the mistakes on. You know, if it's your child, take care of your children. You know what I mean? This should not be, nobody has to force nobody to do. We shouldn't have to force no woman, no man, nobody to take care of their own kid, because that's your kid, and they didn't ask to be here. We created them. So therefore, least we could do, which is the best we could do, is take care of our children and protect them with our lives best as we could.
Yes. Hang on. I'm gonna. Shall I share? I know we've been meaning to do this live for like 3 days now. I'm thinking, you know, the submission.
Oh yeah, we're gonna do it. We're gonna do it. I'm gonna set it up on its own thing. We're gonna do it on its own thing now. We're gonna do it. We're gonna do it after this.
Oh man.
We're gonna do it after this.
I feel like I want to do it now because I don't know.
Yeah, we're gonna do it after this. But I just want out of respect for the victim, I'm gonna leave this like this. And I'll just go live again. So whoever's here and they listening, they can follow the next stream. I already just, it's a reminder. They could just go click the reminder. I already have it set to go. As soon as I end this, we'll go up live with that one. So you just set up all of the things, and we'll go live right now with that right now video. You know what I'm saying? So we get that out too. Because I want this to be encapsulated. Our dialogue went to some places, and I like where it went to as well. So I want the people that watch this in the future to just, you know, take the vibe that we got from this, and, you know, especially out of respect for the victim, not trying to take it too far from where our conversation really started from. So I want to say thank you to everybody for viewing, jumping in here. Make sure y'all dropping likes, just subscribing, sharing, turning on the notification bells on. If you're in Cartoon Cat's channel, make sure you're subscribing over there. If you're in one community, subscribe here. If you're in my one community, make sure you head on over to Cartoon Cat and subscribe to our channel. This is what we're doing. Once again, condolences to the victims, the mom and the child. Condolences to the family of those victims. You know what I'm saying? My hearts go out. And do you want to say something before we end this and start our next live, Cat?
Yeah, just to echo what you're saying. My heart goes out to the family. You know, they were excited. They supported a mother, an expectant mother.
7 months.
They, you know, the friends, the family were behind her. They were gonna support her and that child regardless. And some fucking asshole who was butthurt that she had that support came in and killed not only the child but her as well, and that is something can never be forgiven. Guys, if you don't want these situations to happen, please, okay, take precautions. If there's women that you don't see yourself ever, if you don't see yourself ever having a child with her, you shouldn't even be sticking your in her to begin with. But if it comes to that, please just leave her alone and support from afar, okay? Yes, yeah. So condolences to her family and the friends, and
yeah, no. Our condolences once again. Like I said, salute to everybody. We appreciate y'all for rocking with us throughout this. You know, sometimes it's difficult news and it's difficult to hear, but these are the kind of stories that we have to get at. These are the stories that we have to cover. We do lives, I do panels, I do streams for 50 hours straight, all of those kinds of things. We talk about loose topics and sometimes very serious ones. But I most definitely, even though we're going to be carefree sometimes and we're going to be doing lives, I do want to make sure that Kat and I are covering certain topics, covering certain stories, whether in my country, in her city, in her country, and abroad, and things that affect us as well, especially people of color, you know what I'm saying, especially people that's melanated, Black, whatever we identify with, you know what I'm saying, be it Africans in America, Africa, diaspora, you know, we got to cover our news. So I most definitely look forward to bringing y'all a lot more content and us, you know, talking about a lot of serious things that we really need to bring awareness on, you know. So shout out to Cartoon Cat, shout out to LBU.
Yeah, this was a pretty heavy one. But the next one we're gonna do, this was a very entertaining stream that I did over a channel at Auntie's channel. Shout out Auntie.
Shout out to Auntie.
And there's me and there's a couple other people. Notably, This Speech is Better, who is an OG.
OG with it. OG with it.
Let's stream on this next. If you haven't heard it, okay. It was streamed on Auntie's panel.
Yeah.
And I came on because it was we were tailing off another panel that we had, just to give you a backstory, on Mace Taggart's channel. Subscribe to Mace Taggart's channel if you love like sports commentary and all that good stuff. But that's how that conversation went. Mace is he's an OG, he's so cool. And that's how it happened. Game changer, shout out to you for being a good sport. I got brutalized. You got your ass handed to you by me and Beach. I know you took it like a G. I hope you did. But we're gonna have a little reaction. We've been doing this reaction for a few days now.
Facts.
It's been circulating around a bit, so we're gonna do that.
Yeah, it's been a minute.
Other than laugh at the whole thing, I don't even know what to do.
And that's why, since we got the vibe to do it, I want to make sure we do it, because we're gonna be another day that we waiting to do the stream, and I want to get the stream done. So I appreciate everybody here. One love, one voice, one community. Remember, like, share, subscribe. Make sure y'all turning on the notification bells here on One Community. Make sure you're subscribing on Cartoon Cat. Make sure you're turning the notification bells on over there. We're building one community everywhere. This is what we're doing. I love when our subscribers here subscribe to our people and we lift everybody up in the same time. That's what I've been about when I came on YouTube, and I'm still about that same mission. So remember, salute to all of you. We appreciate all of y'all, and our hearts go out to the family.